Hello and welcome. This is Two Shots of Weeb, the podcast where we review your favorite anime and we drink a little bit. I am one of your hosts, the Seaweed Ambassador, and this is my co-host.
TheEpicWob, avid gamer, General Weeb. Glad to be here.
Hell yeah. So we're gonna be your weekly drunk hosts. I believe we're doing this weekly, right? That's our
I
goal
hope
right
so.
Gotta do something to take this pain away right now. So the general premise of the show is we're gonna watch an anime, and then we're gonna record our thoughts, basically a review. I would say, right? I don't think we're gonna necessarily.
It's not going to be as structured as a proper YouTube review, but
yeah, no, definitely not. It's definitely it's a rambling venture here. So you're just gonna have to follow along on the adventure.
We're all along for the ride here.
Oh yeah, even us. We don't know where this train's going. Alrighty. So this week we decided to watch Gleipnir, and I think we did this. Oh,
sorry, this is a show that neither of us have seen, and I went in completely blind. I didn't even know the genre of it before we watched it.
Yeah, and I knew like a little bit. I didn't know too much. Like I think I've seen like one or two YouTube videos about it, and I had seen it, but they were released like before the anime started. And I've seen the general like talk on Twitter, but that's about it. So I was pretty blind to it as well, which I think I don't know if it was a good or a bad thing. What do you think?
I don't know. When I saw the very beginning of the first episode, and I saw the homemade fursuit this man turns into, I thought it was going to be a lot dorkier of a show than it actually was.
Yeah. I mean, I will say I do. Okay, let's preface here. I ain't no furry, right? Okay,
but I did the description that we need
because I did like the design of his character mascot suit thing.
Yeah, no, it was rad, and I like the cross in his eye. They did that for like all of the monsters, which I think is good.
Yes, I loved that. Oh man, that was so cool. Like it gave a really cool distinction. You know,
like a solid visual cue. Yeah, going into it.
Yeah, and what is it called? Like heterochromia? Is that the thing where you have like two different color eyes?
Yeah, they didn't do that though, did they?
No, they didn't do that, but like it was kind of a similar thing.
Heteroshapia.
There we go.
Oh, okay, off to a good start.
Yeah, great start here. Oh boy, you're in for more of this, so just sit back and enjoy it. All right, so like general thoughts, good, bad. What'd you think?
I was definitely impressed overall. I'm not usually big on fighting shows. I say as I'm on the 4th season of My Hero Academia. No, the fights were slick, and I liked seeing all the alternate monster designs. Like which episode is it? Episode 5, when they finally come across Sanbi, and there's this big skelly boy with the swords, and they had different designs for everybody throughout the show, and I think they had a lot of really good variety in that. I think it added a lot of interest to it.
Yeah, I like that you brought up like My Hero too, because like it's another like Gleipnir technically is another superhero show, right? Like I would say.
I suppose in a sense, yeah.
Like you have a girl who has invisibility, and like everybody has a different power. But what I really liked is like they weren't like regular powers, you know, like the invisibility one. That's a pretty normal one, what have you. But then there was like the weird animal man that could just grow plants out of the ground. Like that's not not a
because
in
here it's not just like randomly designated powers. And I think this was a very big thing, was that when you get your powers in this show, you turn in a coin to the alien. It gives you magic abilities. It's always a manifestation of something specific that you wanted, and I think that's a really big change right there, a really big distinction.
Yeah, I also really liked that because it was oh man, what was her name? It was Sayaka, the leader of their kind of group. Where her power like was so specific because she knew exactly what she wanted, which I liked. That it wasn't just like only your subconscious desires. Like you could also like you could be super specific and be like, this is exactly what I want.
Yeah, if you knew what you
ability.
needed, you would get exactly what you needed. Whereas if you went in with a basic idea, you'd get a manifestation of what that was.
Exactly. Now I will say just like generally, I also like the fights as well. Like I thought the animation was very nice.
It was definitely
very
slick.
nice. But I think for me, that's honestly what saved the show. I don't know. I think the story kind of got lost in itself there towards the end. Like I wasn't really comprehending what was happening, and
I'm glad it wasn't just me. I thought it was. I thought it was just me kind of losing track of what happened at the end because there's still some things that I don't entirely understand what it was that happened.
Yeah, no, that's the same for me too.
Okay.
And I did. So I was talking to a buddy of mine, and we were. I was just kind of talking about because he'd watched it and then he'd also read the manga, and he'd said that like there was like the last. Most of the 12th episode and the last episode were like filler. Like the 12th episode, or not filler, but like anime original. Filler was the wrong word. Like that 12th episode, I think was the best episode of the show. Not to get like too far ahead here. I think it was like the best episode of the show by far.
That was the flashback episode, yeah?
Yeah. That was like the one where they like went back into like what happened. How
I had to write down like a little flow chart for that. Because I was starting to get lost, but I was able to keep track. I wrote it down exactly what happened. I'm like, okay, I'm interested to see how this pans out, and then I realized we only have one episode left.
Yeah, that was the same thing that I was at too. I was like, oh, this is really cool. Like, and then I was realized about halfway through, I was like, oh, there's only one more episode. There's no way they're going to be able to wrap this stuff up. Like even like for this arc, like, in a cohesive way.
I unfortunately knew that going into it because one of my friends isn't exactly the best with spoilers, and so he told me that it ended on a cliffhanger, and I'm like, no, I didn't want to know that, and so I knew it wasn't going to get entirely resolved as we went forward. Like they definitely set it up for a season 2.
Oh, for sure, like a season 2 or like one of those just read the manga kind of scenarios, you know.
Oh, who reads? I don't know how to read.
Yeah, I know. Okay. We're gonna do a call out right here. This man
don't
has
call me
only
out.
ever read one manga.
No,
one manga. Go ahead. What was that manga?
I don't
manga
think
was
we
it?
need to talk about how much I adore Domestic Girlfriend. That's beside the point.
Oh man, it was Domestic Girlfriend. But the worst part is that he didn't even get past where the anime stopped.
Look, comics don't hold my attention, and manga is just comics, but Japan.
They're comics in black and white, which makes them easier to read. That's my take on it. Oh man, okay.
I didn't expect to be outed 10 minutes in. Jeez.
Oh man. Hey, you brought up you actually wait. I might have brought up the manga.
Yeah, no, you brought that up. Don't pin this on me.
Oh boy. Okay. I didn't mean to out you. I
regret everything. Jeez.
Okay. Anyways,
yeah, back on track for like 10 seconds.
Yeah, we'll make it back off the rails eventually. So yeah, I mean, I didn't really think that that last episode was good at all.
Not that much happened. Although it's actually it's the one I wrote the most notes on because like theoretically that much happened, but it didn't feel.
Like theoretically, like the most happened in that episode, but I don't know what any of that was.
Yeah, I didn't understand the significance of parts of it, and that might just be my ignorance. It might be that I'm not the best at picking up on this because a lot of it had to do with like the white spirit girl, and I don't really understand.
Exactly, because they didn't bring that in till what, like episode 12.
Yeah,
when
something
she was
like that
talked about. So I think that was a big problem.
Basically, what I understood is she was created because of the flashback, and she erased people who didn't know who she was. But I mean, I'm going to get erased because, frankly, I wasn't sure who that was supposed to be. Was it supposed to be Aiko? I think.
Yeah, maybe
because it wasn't Hanukkah. Because someone answered Hanukkah and got erased.
Well, like she, like the oh god, what was the older sister? What was her name? Elena
Elena
said that's not Honoka. She like specifically said that.
Which means it must have been Aiko. It must have been Aiko.
It must have been Aiko.
She made an off comment about it being revenge for Aiko, so I think that's what it was.
Yeah, I mean, that's still like... Oh, man, it was done so poorly.
Yeah, and also,
So
like,
poorly.
literally everyone who isn't from that town isn't going to know who Aiko is. So if, like, a tourist comes in and the ghost shows up, yeah, they're dead.
Even most people in the town, I don't think, would know who that is.
Yeah, like, basically
Like,
just the high school.
Exactly. It seemed so weird that she... Well, also, she looked like Honoka. Like, that's the form she took, was Honoka. So, like, even if, like, you knew what they looked like, and you knew who Honoka and Aiko were, you would probably go with Honoka because of, like, the looks. You know?
Yeah.
And, like, that's... I don't know. I didn't understand... I didn't understand his, like, desire either. Like, I think it was, like... I mean, well, like, I understood his want, right? Because, like... Oh, also, like, maybe we should say this right now. Spoilers.
Oh, yeah, it's a bit late. We're going to be talking about the entirety of this show.
I mean, so far,
we're kind of out of order. We skipped straight to the end.
We'll work back. I promise. We'll work back.
We'll get back. We'll get to it.
Yeah. So, I think oh God, where was I? Oh yeah, his desire. Like, because I think what I understood was that he was the only one who cared that Honoka wasn't alive anymore. Right.
Yeah.
Is that what you...
Because, yeah, it seemed like, yeah, because...
everybody else didn't care.
Yeah, because this was Naoto, right? Went back and like, tried to get... I think it was
Kaito.
Naoto.
It was Kaito?
Oh, my notes are wrong.
Kaito, the guy with the big white
with the big hair.
Yeah, the mane.
The big hair and the stand. He had a stand.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
That's what she was essentially.
No, because he was trying to, like, he got his revenge on Hanukkah, thinking she had Hanukkah. We're talking about holidays now. Jeez. He got his revenge on Hanukkah because he thought she had killed Aiko, but that's not what it was.
Right.
And so I think he was trying to, I don't know, raise awareness for Aiko or something.
Well, no, for like, okay, so
because we didn't actually hear what his wish was, did we?
No, I don't think so. But like what we heard was like, I was the only one who cared that Honoka was gone, and like everybody else was like, no, let's just do it this way. Like,
yeah, because everyone said just like leave it be, let the status quo be, and we'll all be left alone.
I just want to know, how did the rest of them know that Aiko had killed herself?
I think they found out after they started digging into it. I think that's what it was. But like,
why would they not tell him?
Why wouldn't Kaido have found that? Why wouldn't have Kaido found the same information?
Also, why wouldn't they tell him? It's not like that was his girlfriend.
They did tell him after he killed Hanako.
Well, yeah, after, but like when they were all in the park and he was like, nobody cares that Honoka's missing, and like before he realizes that Aiko is Honoka, or like right after he realizes it and like he gathers everybody else in the park. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And everybody's like, no, the part where they're like, just leave it be, like let the status quo be. Why didn't they tell him then? Because it was pretty clear he had no idea what was going on.
Yeah. Yeah, and they did... By golly, the facial animations were great in this, because like the scene where he's walking down the main drag after finding out that he misunderstood the whole thing, they did some excellent... And I remember I was watching this in the dark at like 3 a.m., and we get that shot of him where his face is all like grayed out and he looks super skull-like.
Oh yeah, like his
that
eyes
gave me
are
the
sunken
heebie-jeebies. It was like way too late to be seeing that kind of imagery.
Yeah, I saw that image on Twitter actually.
Really?
I saw it with the caption, "Oh, so this is that All Might guy you guys keep talking about."
I had the same thought, but I didn't end up writing it down. I wish I had.
Oh man, because like and even after seeing it, because I saw that before I saw the show, right? And like even with that, I never put 2 and 2 together until it happened, and even after it happened, I was still like spooked. I think they did an amazing job with the art.
Yeah, the art was fantastic. The designs were great. There's actually, speaking of the art, we're still going super out of order. This is in the middle of the series.
Hey, we're going back, so like at least we're like...
Yeah, we're going completely backwards. Talk about the end and work our way to the beginning. That's a great, wonderful idea. Everyone will understand flawlessly, I'm sure. No, So when Shuichi and Claire, whenever they're like fused or whatever, and you keep seeing Shuichi in this big. For clarification for people who haven't seen the show, Shuichi turns into a costume ?
Yeah, like a Mickey Mouse costume you see. Like,
should we establish like the basic premise of the show, because we're 15 minutes in, we haven't done that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's do.
Okay.
That.
Yeah. This is probably a good idea. We're maybe a little behind on this.
Yeah. Okay.
So
I think the basic premise.
Shuichi finds out he can turn into a fursuit.
Yeah.
Because reasons he doesn't know. And then Claire finds out he's a fursuit.
Because he saves her from
saves her from a fire. Yeah.
Because he also gets like really good smell.
He can smell.
Because he's a dog fursuit.
Dog fursuit.
His persona is a dog. It looks like a mutt. It's not like any specific type of dog.
Yeah, it's real bad. It's real good. It's real good, but it's real bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean.
Hey, get your animals from a shelter. That's the main message of this show.
Anyway, he smells that she's in a fire and carries her out, and then she blackmails him to turn into the fursuit by kicking him off a building. And so Shuichi turns into the fursuit, and they end up like working together to fight, and we find out that he can open the fursuit. He has a zipper on the back. He has a zipper on the back, and they can undo the zipper, and Claire climbs into him, and it is upsettingly suggestive at all times.
Okay, so here's the question, though, that I have.
Oh, no.
Okay. So, does this make Shuichi a mecha?
Yeah?
Because so here's the similarities I'm drawing, right? Because like you've seen Evangelion, right?
Like 3 episodes.
Oh god. Okay. Okay, do you know about Eva, right? Like what they are?
Yes, ?
Can I tell you what they are?
Yeah,
I don't want to like spoil
it.
Eva for. Okay. So Eva like are alive. They're like angels.
So it's Gurren Lagann.
Sure. No, the Gurren Lagann isn't alive.
Yeah, it is.
It's not. It has to be piloted. Like the Evas can live on their own. Like they can be piloted without a pilot, right? Like they can move on their own.
Okay.
But if they have a pilot like in them that is like conscious, then the pilot like will have full control. So actually instead of a mech, is Shuichi an Eva? Is he Eva Unit 06? I think that's the bigger question here.
I think I'm not authorized to speak on this. So it's clear, if you haven't already gathered, Seaweed has seen a lot more anime than I have. I love anime. I don't have near as extensive a catalog as this man.
Yeah, I think right now I'm around 670.
Did I break 100? I don't think I've broken 100.
I don't remember. Let's check your Mal.
Oh, no, don't snoop on me. Oh, no.
Okay. All right. We won't do that. I already outed you once.
No, it's a low number. I only got into anime a couple of years ago, and I game more than I anime. I'm a pro gamer, as they say.
Pro WoW player over here. That's WoW and Hearthstone. That's your main games, right?
Yeah, pro WoW single player, never interacting with anybody else, clearly.
That's how you play an RPG, right?
Anyway, what were we on about? He turns into a fursuit. Why was him... Right, because we see him in like this blank background whenever it's him, because we see Claire in front of the goop insides of him, because it's this like fleshy, disgusting mess. But we see him in just like this empty space. Yep. And there's something that I picked up on, and I'm really proud that I picked up on this, because I don't usually catch on to these things. He's usually behind in blue, because he's a very scared and non-confrontational fellow. But there are a few times where he goes very aggressive, and he gets fired up, and when he does that, the background turns a bright yellow and red to show that he's energized. And that was a really cool art decision. We were talking about the art. I remembered why that was important. Oh,
man, I did not notice that. That's actually really sick.
Yeah. The first time he does it is in episode 5 when he's fighting freaking Skelly Boy Big Boy, is what my notes say. Who was that? Sanbi. When he was fighting Sanbi. Because there's one bit where he like takes control instead of Claire, and his background is bright and lit up instead of the deep blue he's been behind the entire time.
That's so sick. I had no idea. Oh man. Okay, because see, what I was picking up from that right there, where like he's in this nebulous kind of like space, right? So you're not gonna get this, and I know you're not gonna get this.
Cool.
It's not anime. It's not an anime thing, right? But in Ultraman, in the newer Ultraman series, do you know what Ultraman is?
I have no clue what Ultraman is.
Okay,
doesn't he like
Ultraman...
bench press a kaiju or something weird like that?
Oh yeah, probably at some point one of them does. There's a lot of different Ultraman.
And his name is John Cena.
God damn. Okay, all right. Anyways, so when like when an Ultraman in the newer series, like when they're like possessing somebody, it's not like possessing. They're like coexisting is the better term for it. When they turn into Ultraman, they will go into this like nebulous space.
Okay.
At least that's what I've seen from X and Z, which are that's the two main shows I've seen recently. Orb I've seen a little bit of, but I'm getting way off track.
Did you say Zed?
Z. Yeah, it's Ultraman Z. It's just a Z. He thinks he's the like protege of Zero. Ultraman Zero, but like he's okay. Look, we're getting way off track.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Ignore my confusion for now. Get back on the show.
Yeah. And so okay. So, anyways, like that's kind of what it reminded me of, was like an Ultraman kind of state, which I think it might have been like in reference to. But that's all I wanted to say. Like that's what I noticed from it. So I liked that color thing, because I did not pick up on that at all.
Yeah, no, I picked up on that. I thought it was like a really super cool like addition to the show. I know how to speak English. There we go. Yeah, and I think it was a good representation, but it only got used a couple of times. I think his background only lit up like once or twice. Once was against Skelly Boy Big Boy. Sanbi. And there was once again, I think it was during the ambush. I could be wrong. I don't remember exactly when it was.
Yeah. It might have happened during the fight with I don't know if this was the ambush, but like when he and the cat girl, like when they went to go look for her wallet.
I think she was a dog girl, but yes. I wasn't sure if she was cat girl or dog girl, because like her character bio that I wrote down was dog girl, but then I have written on episode 7 in all capitals, cat girl fusion.
Yeah, no, she was definitely a cat. Those ears were cat ears.
No, because they flopped over. Cat ears don't flop over.
They did not flop. They flopped. Flop over. What was her name?
Hoshioka?
Was it Chihiro? Okay.
Chihiro Hoshioka, I think.
Yoshioka.
There we go. Yeah, tiny dog girl. I have it written down.
Her ears do not flop over.
They flopped in like the first step when she took her helmet off.
Look,
they flopped down.
I'm gonna send you this image. Okay, like we're doing investigative reporting here. It might take a little bit for this image to upload because my internet is garbage.
We don't. It's unnecessary. We all know I'm right. Let's continue with the show.
Oh, it's processing now. Look in the chat.
I heard the Discord bloop. This is wildly unnecessary.
No, it's not.
Those are dog ears.
Do those fold over?
They could. They're massive. Those are too big for cat ears. This is beside
the
point.
They're standing straight up. Have you ever seen dog ears that fold over do not also stand up? That's not how they work. I have 4 dogs. I know this. Okay, this is the hill I will die on.
I was right. This is a disaster.
Okay, look, she might be like a wolf or a dog girl, but those ears do not flop over. That's the hill I'm dying
3
on.
wolf moon. 3 wolf moon, but it's all her.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh man.
Okay, what were we talking about?
Anyways, I think that might have been one of the times where he got like really angry because she like went inside of him.
I spilled beer on my notes again.
Oh no.
No, it's okay. It just obscured an episode number.
this will be a regular occurrence, I feel.
No,
because this happened 2 or 3 times before we hit record.
It happened once, okay?
Oh man! I just hope I don't spill anything on my notes because my notes are on my computer.
You just yeet a vodka onto your PC.
Oh wait, we didn't say what we were drinking, did we?
We're not sponsored.
Okay,
we're not sponsored.
Not sponsored. No, not sponsored at all. Okay, what are you drinking?
If I must say, I go for Mike's Harder because I'm a freaking lightweight, and one can will get me, or for one. I believe it's called a tall boy. I don't know the terminology.
Yeah, it's a tall boy.
Is enough to get me like good for the next several hours, and I'm on my second one because I wanted to be out there for this.
Gang. All right, and I am drinking some Absolute Citron with some Arnold Palmer.
That sounds fancy.
It's so nice. It's not fancy though. But I'm on my second cup, and I had a Corona before both of those.
I feel bad because this is absolutely introductory stuff. We have been all over the place so far.
Oh yeah, no. Okay, look, this is episode 1. This is our pilot. We're gonna figure this out as we go.
We promise the quality will be better going forward.
I swear. Oh man, I promise. We'll try to come up with some structure, but also, hey,
I will have better notes. I will have better notes than what I have written for episode 3, where I wrote down thought.
Is that the only thing you wrote for episode 3?
It's not the only thing I wrote for episode 3. That is one of the assorted notes I wrote for episode 3 because it was the first time where they were at her apartment and they were let's do some training. I'm gonna get inside of you. Let me take all my clothes off. And
your immediate thought was exactly that thought.
Yeah. Followed by sister-like monster maybe killed parents and sister monster big deaths. I was sober when I wrote these.
Yeah, that's the thing. Okay, I don't think we specified that, but we watched the show. We're gonna watch the show sober, completely sober,
and then we talk about it off our rockers.
Oh yeah, that's the premise here.
We'll put this in the description. That's what matters, right?
Yeah. It'll be on the description, maybe in the about section of our channel, whatever. It'll
be on the about of the channel because we're gonna have a channel for this.
Yes.
We'll have a better grasp of what we're doing after this one. We're figuring parts of it out as we go, but we did figure out a lot of it, and I'm glad we're doing this. This is hype.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm having a lot of fun so far. Oh, man.
Especially when I have notes including Plant Boy, Suit Guy, and Jelly Camera Guy. Those are all names that I wrote down.
Oh, man, that's so good. Oh, God. I love those. I love your notes.
I can't even read some of them. I'm going to be fully honest here.
Yeah, no. I mean, you sent me images of these. I could not read any of them.
My handwriting is really bad.
Yeah, and that's not just a diss on you, because my handwriting is just as bad. Let's be clear. My handwriting is just as bad. But, oh boy, it's hard to read somebody else's bad handwriting. Oh god.
So half an hour in, it's probably a bit late for this, but should we start at the beginning of the show and work through it? Because we have given no timeline for these events. We're just talking about it.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Let's do that. Let's start at the beginning.
Okay.
It starts in a school, like every anime ever.
Nice. My favorite setting. High school. My favorite time of life.
I remember when I was in high
school.
Every
second of that.
I didn't talk to people then, just like I don't do now.
I didn't talk to... So, I had friends in high school that I talked to in high school. But as soon as we walked out those doors, I didn't talk to them at all.
I was awkward in high school. I had a jacket with a plaid pattern, and I wore the pattern off of my arm because I would walk against the wall every day.
Wow.
It was amazing.
I just wore anime shirts every day.
There's a reason I wanted to get drunk for the podcast, so that I could actually be comfortable to talk.
I think it worked. I gotta say. I do think it worked.
Just a little.
Oh man, all right. So those horrible memories aside.
Yes. It started in a school.
Oh man, okay. Started in a school, we got Shuichi. He's got glasses. I think that's kind of important.
Can I just say that half of these characters share names with Danganronpa characters, and that really wigged me out.
Oh man, Danganronpa's the best. But yes, they do.
So many of them.
Honestly, It's a lot. But I'm not upset about that. You know, both of us. So one thing you got to learn about both of us: we're both huge Danganronpa fans, even though I haven't finished V3 yet.
Finish the game, jeez, man!
I swear I'm gonna get. I have my PS Vita right next to me, so I can
PS Vita.
Yeah, I play on the superior platform.
Okay.
That's how you play Persona 4, all the Danganronpa games. What other games?
Look, I've just got my PC that I'm proud of. It is my child.
Look, the thing is, you can play all of those games on PC now, so it doesn't even matter. Like, even Persona 4 is on PC, the same version. It's not even like you just emulate the PS2 game. Oh, man. All right, okay.
Anyway, it's in a school. We've established this.
And he's wearing glasses.
And he can smell
things.
That's
two things so far.
Yes, and he has really big eyes. Like, no one in the show has big eyes, in my opinion. Like, they all have anime eyes, but then Shuichi, his eyes are like half his face, and I don't know why.
Yeah. I mean, and I think that goes along maybe partially like with his, like, furry suit, or his fursuit. Because, like, his fursuit also has really big eyes.
Well, yeah, because it's like a school mascot. It's like a school mascot fursuit. It's still a fursuit.
Right, exactly.
I don't care what you say.
But I think what I'm saying is, like, I think the character designs, like, that was supposed to be like a parallel thing.
Yeah, because there was like the keychain. You know, there was the keychain from the end, or the plushie, or whatever it was.
Yeah, she had a plushie at the end.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Keychain. Eventually. Oh boy, maybe.
Yeah, there was a plushie, and that's reasons because things happen. We'll get to it.
Eventually.
We're on episode 1, okay?
Yeah, sorry, we skipped a lot. How far are we in? 30 minutes? And we'll just talk about
we're just finally talking about episode 1. We're super organized. I'm proud of our coordination here.
We're doing great. This is better than I thought we would do.
Excellent.
In terms of timeline. Anyways, okay, so episode 1. He's got glasses. He's got friends in high school. He's in a high school. And then he smells a fire at night because he can't sleep. And he's like, he goes to a vending machine because he can't sleep.
Wait, yeah, no, hold on. No. There was like this weird cutscene about a vending machine, and I don't know if it was him going to it. I don't think it was him going to it.
No, there was a cutscene about a vending machine, like with a girl with... Okay, so like that first person bit.
Aliens.
That was like... Well, yeah. Okay, that was... I'm pretty sure that was Elena going... Like her first
that would make
visit
sense.
to the alien. Yeah. So you were seeing it first person. But there was a scene of him at night going out to get a drink because he couldn't sleep. And then he got like a green tea. I remember it was an Ito-En green tea because I love that brand of green tea. I used to drink it all the time.
You freaking weeb.
Hey, this is called 2 Shots of Weeb. Like, anyways.
So like
he got that and then...
There's a scene where he goes to the vending machine, and then he's like, there's a girl out here, but there's also fire, and he sees this warehouse on fire.
But wait. You missed a very key point.
What did I miss here?
Before he smelled the fire, he was playing Puzzle and Dragons.
He was playing Raid Shadow Legends! Sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. We're not sponsored. The show was sponsored, clearly.
Yeah, the show was definitely sponsored by a lot of brands, which I think is why the animation is so good.
Wait, were there other brands? Like, the only thing I saw was discount Raid Shadow Legends.
Well, that's not discount. That's Puzzle and Dragons, which is a huge game.
But it's not Raid Shadow Legends.
Okay, yeah, it's not Raid Shadow Legends. It's not a YouTube sponsor. Okay. But like Ito-En, that was like their brand on there. There was like a lot of brand name like coffee or like drinks and stuff.
Do you think I know how to read Japanese? That's a lie. I know how to read Japanese.
I was about to say you took Japanese in college too. Come on, I know the classes that you took. Well, some of them.
So he goes to the vending machine, and then he goes to girl.
Ito-En green tea, and then he plays
Red Shadow Legends, and then he goes and rescues the girl from a fire.
Yes, and then he like. Okay, this was weird. Like, at the end of episode 1, this made me really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I remember you had one line in your notes, I think it was for the next episode, though, that just said, "This makes me uncomfortable."
Yeah, I wrote, "This is uncomfy." I could have put that in, like, almost every episode, but there was definitely a bit of that in first episode.
the end of the first episode where like I don't know, it was weird. It was like he was overcome by lust and like he like rips open her or like her shirt was already half open, right? When he finds her, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and then he pulls it a bit more, and we're just like, okay, bro, you need to chill.
Okay, dog. And then he like starts breathing really heavy, and he's in the fursuit, mind you. This is important. He's in the fursuit.
He's in the fursuit, or rather, he's not in the fursuit. He is the fursuit.
Well, he is the fursuit.
He's in fursuit form.
Yeah, he has become Fursona, and and then he like drags down her pantsuit, if you will.
But then he's like, "Hey, maybe this is a bad idea," and then goes home.
Maybe I shouldn't Weinstein her.
But then
yeah.
Plot twist, he left his phone.
Yeah, which like also how?
Where does his phone go? Because like his clothes disappear when he turns into Fursona. So,
right,
like, doesn't his phone, does his equipment not meld in? Is this not a D&D
That's what
druid?
I figured, like, his like, anything in his pockets, because his clothes just kind of go in too. I figured they just kind of, like, went in with him. So
does he just drop his wallet every time he transforms?
Oh, God, that would suck. Oh, man, just have to, like, get a new wallet, get a new phone every time he transforms.
So he accidentally leaves his phone, and then he gets to school the next day, and it turns out Claire is the girl he rescued. It turns out Claire is there too, and I don't entirely remember. She like texts him or whatever to meet him on the roof.
Yeah, something like that.
And so they meet on the roof, and she's like,
No, I remember what it was. She called him, and like his friends were like, "Oh, who's that? Did you get a girlfriend?
Did you get a girlfriend?
No, I don't know this number. Even though it has like a contact name in his phone."
No, I think that was later.
Was that later?
I think that was after they started hanging out. Because he goes to the roof to talk to her.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it was.
And he's like, "Hey, bro, can I have my phone back?" And she kicks him off the roof.
That's right, because she sets the phone down.
She's like, "Hey, I know you're a monster. Let's prove it." Yeet.
Yep. She just straight up kicks him off the roof.
And so he falls and transforms into a monster to not die. And she's like, "Haha, I'll tell the school that you're a furry."
unless you help me find my sister who killed my family.
So naturally he does.
Her. Of course, yeah, because you don't want people outing you as a furry, especially in high school. That's like number one rule of high school.
I apologize to my furry friend. I have one who might watch this.
Oh, I don't want to get into that. Okay. Anyways. Where were we? So she kicked him off the roof. He jumps back up, and then the most adorable character in the entire show, Nana Mifune.
Do you want to know my note for Mifune?
Please.
Small, excited girl who might be relevant eventually, and then plot twist she wasn't.
Yeah, that's fair. That was one thing I didn't like. I really wish they would have used her.
She didn't do anything. She was just there, and then, like in the final episode, she gave a bike to Claire. I guess.
Did she?
Yeah, no, she played freaking taxi service for Claire because you must care about Shuichi. Go help him.
That's right.
That's the only thing she does.
That was it. Yeah. And she was adorable. Oh, man. Her character design.
No, she had crazy eyebrows, dude.
What?
No.
Are you? Oh, no. We are not slandering Nana Mifune. Not on my TL. No, sir. She has the... Okay. I don't think you've seen K-On!
Her eyebrows were bigger than my muscles.
Look, I don't think you've seen K-On!, okay? But she has the Miyu eyebrows, and she's adorable. She's so good. She's the best.
Okay.
I love her. She is I don't like...
Let's continue forward. You can be wrong as much as you want, but we've got somewhere to go.
We're going... and we're going there. Nana Mifune is adorable.
Okay.
You cannot argue otherwise. You're incorrect.
Shuichi and Claire start hanging out, and they're like, "Let's teach you how to fight or something." So they go to Claire's apartment, and she takes her clothes off because reasons. I don't know. That's just what Claire does.
Yeah. Well, she was like, "Well, I don't want to get my clothes dirty with all of your juices."
Yeah, because they figured out the zipper thing, and they open a zipper, and they're like, "Wow, there's a lot of goop."
Yeah, because it's inside of a body,
Yeah.
essentially. Like, essentially, she just kind of becomes the skeleton.
She just climbs into his chest cavity, sticks her arms into his arms.
Yeah, it's really weird, though. Oh, man. Especially, I think it was shown better when, what's her name? The cat girl. When she went in.
Yeah, and then she's, like, not the
name?
right size because she's super small.
Chihiro. Right, but, like, when she was in there, like, you could see that, like, there weren't, like, holes for, like, the legs and arms.
Yeah, she just pushes them through the goop.
Stick your like limbs through, and that was the worst. I hated that.
It was unpleasant.
Yeah, everything about the inside of that suit. No.
I mean, at least Claire kept her underwear on, unlike someone else.
It's true, but Chihiro was like, "Well, you said my clothes would get dirty."
Yeah, Yoshioka's just like, "Wow, what am I supposed to do?" Apparently, she sounds like freaking Dr. Doofenshmirtz. I'm sorry for that voice crack. That was awful. Anyway, we're only on episode 2. We need to make progress here.
Okay, yeah. That happens in like episode 6 or 7 or something. Anyways.
Oh wait, no, this is still episode 1. We're still on episode 1. Wait.
Okay, let's go to episode. No, we're in episode 2.
No, yeah, because episode 1 is when the other furry breaks in, the track furry.
Is that in episode 1? I thought that happened in
I have my note in episode 1, Angry Girl Breaks In is also a furry.
Okay.
Because they started fighting in episode 1, but they don't figure out about the suit thing until episode 2.
Right, that's right. Because
episode 2 starts talking about the coins, and then they get into and then they start fighting.
Well, that's why they went over, is because of the coins. That's why he went to her house.
Yeah.
To show her his
So
coin.
there's like these coins that you put in a vending machine that you get superpowers from an alien. And the coins, I don't know if we find this out in episode 2, I think it's later, but the coins are also aliens who have turned themselves into coins.
That's definitely way later. But they did turn themselves into coins because they don't like to have a body when they're traveling through space because it makes it inconvenient.
So they turn themselves into money? ?
Yeah, the coins thing was weird. I don't know, but I thought it was like a cool quirk.
Sorry, it's in katakana. It's coins. Coins.
Coins. Oh boy.
I love bad English. It's the funniest thing in the world.
English?
Go ahead, Mr. Juicer.
Go ahead and go without me.
Oh my god. Sorry. Anyway, episode 2 happens, and coins, and they find out that Claire can step inside Shuichi, and it is bizarrely sexual, and no one likes it.
And it's also like, it's weird too, because she can force him to do things he doesn't want to.
Yeah.
And she can force herself into him.
Yeah. So whoever is in the suit has more motor control than the person who is the suit.
Well, I think okay, so Yoshioka, or Chihiro Yoshioka, the cat girl, she couldn't, or the dog girl, whatever we decide, I don't know, I don't care. Anyways,
the furry,
okay, that doesn't narrow it down. Yoshioka, she is like, when she gets in, she can't control him as well, you know.
Yeah, whereas Claire was able to start moving like pretty quickly, but later in the show, Yoshioka gets in him and like can't move.
Yeah, so I think something with Claire, I think it's like a connection they have, which like kind of becomes apparent later because Shuichi and Elena, have like had a relationship. And then Elena like erased all those memories for some reason, which I'm still not sure what that reason is.
Yeah, I don't think that's fully understood. I think erasing the memories makes it so that not Naoto, the other guy, so that his stand can't kill Shuichi. Because like if he doesn't remember anything about it, she's like, "Oh, you're not relevant," and walks off.
Right, like it's like she said something. I don't know what subtitles you used, but like she said something like, "You're not like fully human."
Yeah, I think in my subtitles she's like, "I don't care about monsters. I care about people," or something like that.
That's about what it said in mine too. Yeah. So yeah, it's definitely something with that, because like. So my theory, okay, not to like hop ahead, because like this is way ahead.
We've been out of order this entire show. I think it's fine.
That's true. Okay. So you know how it said like if you collect 100 coins, or the alien said if you collect 100 coins, then you can become
Saitama from One Punch Man.
you'll become a kaiju essentially, and you'll be able to destroy the world. And I don't know if you picked up on this, right? But the visual of that was a woman. But I think that was like a kind of a misdirection.
Yeah, I did not catch
Elena.
that. I think it was, if what you said is true, which I'm sure it was, then they're probably trying to hint that Nagito Kameda, Elena, there we go, is supposed to collect the 100 and then go evil murder person, because at this point in the show we still think she like murdered a bunch of people because nothing reason.
Right. Well, I think she did murder the parents because she said that directly. And
well,
no,
her. Because we saw a clip where Shuichi's parents died because of Kaito's stand.
Oh, did we? I missed that.
I think it was Naoto's parents died because they got erased by the sparkly white girl.
Okay, gotcha. Wait, Naoto?
Naoto's the guy with crazy... No, Naoto's not the guy with crazy hair. Kaito. I'm getting Naito and Kaito... Naoto and Kaito. Whatever. Shut up.
Oh boy, we're getting to that point of the episode. All right. Okay. Okay. All right. Anyways, I think it was trying to say that Elena, or I think it was trying to do a misdirection where it was like Elena was the one, like, because Elena also said something like, "What if somebody has already collected 100 coins?" Right.
Yeah, and then we find out that someone has.
Right. And so I think what it was trying to say is that Elena had collected it, but it was a misdirection. And I think Shuichi has. And I think if Shuichi...
No, because there was exposition later where they straight up say that Kaito has the 100 coins.
Do they? Because I remember Elena saying that if Kaito remembers everything, then... or not Kaito, if Shuichi remembers...
This is why it's Danganronpa. It's Kaito and Shuichi. This is Danganronpa V3, and it's wigging me out.
Okay, so anyways, if Elena... I remember Elena saying specifically that if Shuichi remembers everything, he will destroy the world.
Wait, is that what it was? I thought the reason she didn't want him to remember, and again, I didn't really have a clear view of this because the final episodes were a bit janky. I thought the reason they didn't want him to remember was because then the ghost girl would talk to him. Because she tried to talk to him, she got in his head when he started to remember.
Well, I think, yeah, okay. So that could be it, right? But I don't know. Because, like, I remembered specifically her saying that if Shuichi remembers, then the world will be destroyed. Maybe that is because of Kaito's power, which I don't understand at all what it is.
I think his wish is the ghost girl that erases people if they don't know Aiko. I think it's Aiko. ? I'm not sure.
I don't, like... He didn't care, though, that Aiko had died. He cared more about that everybody forgot Honoka. That's what, like... Oh, man, his power's so confusing. Because like, he wanted everybody to remember Honoka, and, like, he was like, I'm the only one who like, cared that nobody remembered her. Right.
But I think he's the one with the 100 coins, though, because they were talking about the 100 coins being the person who's, like, sitting on the shipwreck, which was clearly him, as we see in episode 11, 12? 11?
Okay.
Definitely 11, because 11 is where I wrote the note that just says persona in all caps.
I like how that's how you remember it?
That's how I remember it.
Okay, I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
My notes are bad. I'm sorry.
Look, they're better than mine, clearly, because you at least remember. So you can piece things together.
Anyway, we've made no progress continuing through the show. We're on like episode 2, and then we got distracted with end show stuff.
True. But here's the thing, right? Back to end show stuff.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's just go for it.
Okay. So, like, God, I think right now, as far as the show goes, I think it's pretty much like all theory crafting, right? I don't know if there's necessarily an answer that you can find within the show. You know what I mean?
No, you gotta read the freaking comics.
You have to read the manga, but also the manga's not done. The manga is not.
Is
finished,
manga ever truly done though?
Yeah, it is. It is. Like Naruto ended.
Wait, really?
And then we got bored.
I thought that show was just gonna continue indefinitely. Okay.
No, Naruto ended a long time ago. It ended when we were in high school.
You act like I'm supposed to know this.
And then Boruto began.
Then Naruto's still going.
No, it's not.
Naruto, Boruto, close enough. It's one letter difference.
No, it's not. It's a 2-letter difference. And also, his name was supposed to be Bolt. That's what it was in the last chapter, the original translation of the last chapter, I remember. Because I stayed up all night watching Naruto, and I was like ready for this day. I was watching Naruto. I like ate ramen. That's the only thing I ate all day was ramen. And like I read the last chapter and I cried because Naruto ended.
And you watched Bolt, the 3D movie about a superpowered dog.
Dude, Miley Cyrus is really good in that movie.
That was Miley Cyrus?
Yeah, she was the girl. She was the girl. Did you not know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah, Boruto. See, that's why it's called. But like in the last chapter, it was Bolt. That was his name.
Anyway.
Bolt. And like, but if you say it in Japanese, it's Boruto.
Okay, that makes sense. Like but also, are we talking about Naruto? So is this an episode about Naruto? I don't think it is.
Now it is. Now it is, baby. Let's go. Let's go theory craft.
Let's talk about a show I've never seen.
Wait, oh, well, yeah, you haven't. And I know you haven't read the manga for sure. I'm in the middle of watching it right now.
Okay, so episode 2.
We're on 3. We're on 3.
We're on 3?
Uh-huh.
We're on Sister Monster Big Death Smoke Moving Nuts?
Never mind. We're not on 3 because I think I just hit the mic. Sorry.
You fool.
Oh, God. Oh, Mr. I'm so sorry. Okay. Oh, boy. Okay. I'm going to start drinking water now. To kind of
I ran out of alcohol. That's a lie. I have a third one in my fridge, but it is not for tonight.
No, do not. No. I think I'm done at 2.
I think we're good.
Yeah. Okay. So, episode 2 is when they
make the suicide pact.
Wait, what?
When they're in the warehouse and she's just like, Shuichi, if you die, I'm going to die too, and then tries to jump off a ledge?
That's right, because she's like, because she's like, okay, well, if you don't want to be in this, then I'm going to kill myself because...
She already tried to. That's what she was doing with the fire.
Right, exactly, and that's why she said, well, I'm just going to kill myself then.
You didn't save my life, you ruined my death.
Well, that's because she was like, she was basically like, okay, well, if you went out of this, then I'm going to kill myself.
That's because she saw a monster. She saw her sister turn into freaking not yokai. It's the other Japanese word that I know.
What is the kaiju?
No, it was a word that I actually know, but I don't remember what it was. No. It's Bakemono. There we go.
Oh yeah, Bakemono, because like that's the beginning, like Bakemonogatari.
That's exactly why I knew it, but that's beside the point. Anyway, she's like, I saw a monster. That's why it's called
Monster Story.
She's like, I saw a monster and no one believed me, but you're a monster, so you believe me. Therefore, if you give up on me, I don't need to live.
Yeah, I have no reason to live.
And she pressures him into a relationship. That's what I felt like the entire show. Like it felt like they're trying to like be a thing together, but it's very clear that it's forced, that they're not supposed to be together. Like I don't feel like it.
Yeah, but I don't know. I thought by the end of it, at least, or like midway through, by the time they joined the group together, Kaguya was like, or Shuichi. Why did I call him Kaguya out of nowhere? I've called him Shuichi this.
Wait, who is Kaguya? There was a Kaguya. That was him.
It's Shuichi Kaguya.
It's Kaguya Shuichi. It's one of the two.
Yeah, right. I just haven't used that name at all.
Shuichi from Danganronpa 3.
Anyways, Shuichi is like by the time they join the crew and like they get in the like group
when they join the cast of My Hero Academia in episode 6.
Exactly. They I think by that point he's like, okay, no, I'm with you because he's kind of like, you're gonna help me like remember stuff, and I need to learn about my power. You're the only way that's gonna help with that. He figures out that somehow her sister is connected.
Yeah, because we can kind of skip to that point because not much happens in between. Like there's a couple of episodes where we get some backstory on Elena, or at least what we think is backstory on Elena. Because
I think the one important thing though, before we skip ahead, I know we've skipped ahead a lot, but right now is that
we skipped all over the bloody place. I don't know what you're expecting.
I know, but like in episode 3. When Claire and Shuichi have this, or is that episode 2 when they do the suicide pact?
That's episode 2.
Or like, okay, when is the episode? So episode 2 is when they're like fighting in the warehouse district, right?
No, that's no, that is 2. That is 2 because they have the pact in the warehouse after they kill the track girl. They kill the girl in episode 2. That's beside the point.
Oh, no, that's not beside the point. them killing that girl. No, the fact that she killed that girl.
Yeah,
because she was like, no, that blood is not on your hands, and he's
like, yes,
no,
it is because I let you do
used
it.
My body. Well, no, he was like, you used my body.
Yeah, because they have a gun. They have a gun on.
Oh yeah,
on the fursuit that they only use sometimes. Like, I don't really know what the rules are.
Well, no, they use it quite a bit.
No, they only use it like 3 times.
No, they use it. He uses it quite a bit. He just doesn't. I think their go-to.
They go to punching, but why would you go to punching if you have a stand gun? Why would you?
But their gun. But remember, in episode, I think it was the last episode, he has to reload the gun by ripping out the what is it? I don't know guns. Whatever holds the bullets.
The magazine.
Because it's a revolver. It's not a magazine. It's a revolver. I don't know what that's called.
The circular magazine?
Yeah, whatever. It's a revolver. It only has, I believe it only has 6 shots. And
well,
so
yeah, but like every other time he uses it, he only needs 1 because it's like stupid powerful. Like it shot through Skelly Boy's arm. It killed Furry Girl in episode 2.
Yes. Yeah. The first Furry Girl. Not Shihiro.
Not literally any of them later on.
Yeah, because he doesn't want to kill.
But Claire is okay with it.
He tells her don't. Claire's okay with killing.
That's something that starts later, though. Like, we'll get to that. I don't know how long we're going today, but we'll get to that if we get to it.
Yeah. Okay. But like, I think it's pretty important that she kills somebody using his body.
Yeah, and then they like both
don't
feel that.
Kill her. Right, and she's like, no, that's just on me, and he's like,
no, yeah, it's me because she was going to kill us. It's completely fair, but then Shuichi's like, I killed someone, and is like feels awful about it.
Right. Yeah, and so that's a pretty important thing, and I think that kind of cements their relationship together, where they're kind of tied together at that point. I do think there's a bit of a forced relationship thing.
It definitely gets worse later on after we see how smoothly he melds with Yoshioka.
Well, he doesn't though.
Well, no. But
you mean the combination?
He like full fusions with Yoshioka, and he can't reach that point with Claire.
That's true.
Because their goals are too far different, whereas he and Yoshioka are very similar people.
Right, but I think my theory is because I do know something about the manga is that they just brought back recently. I think it was in the most recent chapter, as of this recording, that form was just brought back.
Oh,
right.
Who reads manga?
A lot of people. Wob. So many. Anyways, that was just brought back, and so I think that's a dangerous form because they weren't. So I kind of saw it as like, I don't know if you've seen Steven Universe.
I have not.
When gems in Steven Universe, when 2 gems fuse together, they become a separate entity. They become an entity that's separate from the other 2 gems that fused. So like, for instance, Garnet, who's one of like the main cast, she is a fusion of Ruby and Sapphire. Ruby and Sapphire, once they fuse,
the 3rd generation Pokemon games.
No.
Sorry, do go on.
Okay. Once they fuse, they become Garnet, and Garnet is somebody else, which is what happened here. Because, like, that. Yeah, and
they're also, like, super rage powered, though. Because, like, all of their thing was that both of them were angry at the treatment of the other.
Right, but I think it might be dangerous because they weren't either of themselves anymore. They were a different entity. And because they were a different entity, they could potentially never come back from that.
Okay.
If you get what I'm saying.
Let's do a real quick summary of what happens before the fusion, because it's clear that like the next big point we need to want to talk about is the fusion, but there's still a couple episodes between that. So let's just like blaze through that.
Okay, well, yeah, let's go real quick.
Episode 3 has the note that says thought. That's when they like start practicing, and you find out that you have to find coins by hand because you can't see them with a camera.
Yeah, and that's when they meet the alien, right?
That's when they meet. No, they meet the alien in 2, I think. I don't remember. They meet her sister in 3.
Oh, is that when they go to attack her sister?
That's when they attack her sister, and then she's like super awkward, and then she rips Shuichi's head off?
Yeah, because we find out that she's like in love with Shuichi.
She wants to.
And, like,
she
that's why
wants
she's
to
acting all
quote be
weird.
inside Shuichi.
Yeah,
that's
because
what
she
the
was
suit
like,
was.
no. Yeah, exactly. Because she and Shuichi. So like to skip ahead,
This is uncomfy.
So like she and Shuichi were a thing before, and then she deleted all of the memories in Shuichi's head of her
because reasons that I'm not entirely sure.
Because if he remembers her, then Kaito is able to get him.
Something like that. I think I'm a little lost.
Yeah. But so she originally like wanted to be with Shuichi, and she felt like the only way she could was by having a wish granted by the alien.
But then she rips Shuichi's head off. She sees Claire, and then she just like pieces out. She just leaves.
Yeah.
She takes a phone call and is like, "I gotta go." Yeet.
Because the important thing is that Claire and Elena are sisters.
Yes. I can't believe we only just mentioned that.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I don't have an excuse for that either. I was trying to think of something.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Oh, man.
No, episode 4 is when they meet the alien, because I have the note that says they punched the alien. She punches the alien in episode 4.
So that's... Yeah, well, that's right. Well, that's after... So that's when the alien tells them everything.
Yeah, they deal with the sister, and then they go talk to the alien.
And they met the alien initially before, but then they go to the alien after because they know the alien can grant wishes.
Yeah, and they need to
coin.
Yeah,
because they need to put Shuichi's head back on
because his head is just kind of missing.
Yeah, and she was about to and Claire, I will give Claire this because she said like I will like if you die, I die because like we're gonna enter.
Yeah,
like, we're having the suicide pact thing, so like. But she only said that on her end. He didn't have to kill himself if she died.
Yeah,
which
she
I
tries
thought was
to follow
interesting,
through with it though, because when
she does,
yeah,
because when his head gets ripped off, she puts the gun to her head, and like that trigger is almost pulled.
And then Shuichi's like, "Hey, maybe
stop.
don't."
Yeah, like he's finally able to like regain consciousness and says, "Stop," basically.
And then they go to the alien. They go to the alien to get the magic booze, which will fix his head.
Yep, and she comes out only in her underwear.
Yeah, and
she's
the
like,
alien...
It's really hot in here. You think I can get out?
And then the alien eats her hair and turns into her again?
Yeah, it turns into her, but without clothes.
And she's like, bruh.
And she's like, don't do that, dude.
And that's when we find out about the 100 coins, because he mentions that 100 coins will make you into like super powerful, and goes on about comic books. He has this thing for comic books.
Yeah, he really likes manga.
Freaking weeb.
Like, which most people should. Wob. Anyways, so yeah, he's like, manga's so cool, isn't it? And then
you can be big, strong, and punch things and end the world.
Yep. All you have to do is collect 100 of my best friends because we're an alien race.
Collect 100 coins and you'll get a 1-up.
Yep. So that all happens, and then let's see what happens after that.
Episode 5. They wander into the forest and they're like, surely the people aren't that strong. And then they bump into the guy who said, I want to be strong, and that was his wish.
That's right. Yep. And
they bump into Sanbi.
Yes. And the cool thing about him, the thing I really liked is that the aliens, or not the aliens specifically, the juice that they drink seems to be kind of like a genie, whereas like you have this wish, and if you're not extremely specific, you're gonna get burned, because like he's like, yeah, I want to be strong, but then he doesn't have the tactics. He just has strength.
But he also mentioned that like he did end up stupid strong. Like humans could not keep up to him. That's why he wants to test strength against other monsters.
Well, right, exactly.
Sanbi is not collecting coins. He's only there because he wants to fight monsters and find out how strong he is.
Yes, which collecting coins is a thing that some people want to do because they want to get 100 coins.
Yeah.
But the thing about Sanbi, though, what I was meaning by the genie is like he just wanted to be strong. So the juice just made him strong. It didn't like up his like mental abilities as well, so that he could be tactically strong.
I mean,
it only did his strength, physical strength. I'm not saying like, yeah, he can overpower most people with his strength, but because that's how Shuichi and and what's her
Well,
name?
it's because
Shuichi
Claire
and Claire beat him.
specifically made sure that Sanbi did not know there were two of them.
Right, exactly, which is a tactic, though. Because she tries to do that every time.
I mean, I wouldn't say
She
that he
doesn't
can't do
want anybody
tactics
to know.
because he does develop literally his entire own system of martial arts to complement the Skelly Boy body.
Oh, no, right. Yeah, no, I think he develops it himself, but, like, the juice doesn't give it to him. That's what I mean. Like yeah, he is smart himself, but the juice doesn't just give him innate abilities to become smart.
Yeah, no, it literally just gave him a powerful form.
Just a powerful body, which I think was interesting because if you're not super specific with what you want from the power, then it might bite you. You know?
I still wouldn't say it bit him. I still wouldn't say it bit him.
I mean, like, it could have. It has the
I mean, the only one that really seems like they got bitten was Shuichi, but that's because he didn't pick it.
Right, yeah. Well, also, I think part of it, like, Elena was bitten as well because whatever her ability is now, she can't, like, be around Shuichi.
Wait, yeah, how did Elena get powers if she used her wish on Shuichi? Did she turn in another coin for a wish on herself?
Yeah, she had another coin. Yeah,
okay.
She used another coin.
Because she used her first wish. She used one of her wishes on Shuichi.
Yeah.
To turn him into the mascot.
But also, Chihiro Yoshioka, she got cat or wolf ears or whatever. She got ears, animal ears.
Because she wanted to understand animals.
She didn't want, because she wanted to talk to animals. And so that was kind of what bit her. And then Ikeuchi, the guy with the camera head, he got a camera head.
I hate that character.
So it's not exactly... I don't like him either. But, like, it's not exactly, like, conspicuous. It's not exactly, like, hidden. A hidden ability.
You know,
like,
it's kind of obvious if he starts recording you.
Exactly, which is, like, that's kind of, like, what would bite him if somebody sees him. Like, and then Sanbei didn't get tactics. He just got brute strength. And then Sayaka... I don't really like hers was so specific.
Sayaka was super specific. She knew what she wanted and she got it.
Exactly. And I think that's the thing I like about the power and kind of how I'm relating it to the genie thing.
Is that, like, if you knew full well exactly what you wanted, you could get it.
Exactly. Like if you know what you want, you can get it with no downsides, but you got to know that.
Yeah. Episode 5 also had some good revelations. It had my favorite quote from the series, which is from Claire. Good, I have time to take off my clothes.
That kind of sums up the whole
series. It kind of is. That's every fight ever. And also, that's also the episode that teaches us that having cell phones is apparently not manly.
Yes, that's right, because Sanbei does not have a cell phone because it's not manly.
Sanbei is a character. And I'm sad he doesn't do more. I wish he came back.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. I was so hoping that he would come back because
he's in, like, the next episode. He yeets on a random monster, but then he never comes back.
Yep. That's it. He kills that, like, goblin.
He kills the frog boy.
Cuts it in half.
But then, like, the rest of the people join My Hero Academia, and Sanbei's like, nope, not for me. Pieces out. And doesn't come back the rest of the show. Yep. Welcome back to the show. We took a minor break. We had to
use the facilities.
I don't think they needed to know that.
Well, now you know. Okay, so we're on episode 6. What happens in episode 6?
My Hero Academia. It turns into My Hero Academia. Hardcore.
Yep. We get a team of superpower people.
Including Convenience Store Girl, a.k.a. Best Girl.
You know what? I think this is one of the times where we kind of agree. I think out of the crew, she is the best girl.
Yeah. So Claire and Shuichi go to join this group of people who are looking for coins, because they want help looking for coins.
Yeah.
And they meet up in this.
They're like they want to use them to find Elena.
Wait.
I believe. Like Shuichi and...
I don't think that was the initial plan.
No, because Elena, or like Claire knew that Elena was in the mountains somewhere. And she wanted to use them to find Elena, but they also wanted to find coins. I think it was like a double whammy.
Okay,
That
yeah,
like two
because
birds,
she
one
did
stone.
talk about how she knew Elena when they were in high school, and she tells Elena's sister that she wanted to sleep with her.
Yep. Yeah, which I liked how I liked how Claire was just like, didn't need to know.
The face that they animated for Claire for that scene was perfect, where she's just like, "How about no?"
Yeah. Uh-huh. Oh man. And God, that scene, that was also uncomfortable.
Yeah, it
The whole
was.
initiation thing.
Yeah, because the initiation was literally just put on this necklace, but then they tried
Mm-hmm.
to bang. That was later.
Well,
That was an episode later.
was it?
Oh wait,
Okay.
no, that was 6. That was 6. I
No, that
lied. I'm looking at my notes here.
I was about to say that because Sayaka like kind of forced herself onto Claire,
Very
which is really
aggressively.
weird. Yeah, very aggressively, and like then and I was like, okay, well maybe this is just part of the initiation. Everybody went through this, but
No,
no,
she was just going for it.
she was just
She was just shooting
seeing
her
what she could
shot.
do. Yeah, and man, she got a long ways.
Yeah, well, because Claire thought it was part of the initiation. This was not a
Yep.
comfortable sequence of events.
No, and I don't think it was supposed to be, which I liked. It wasn't meant to be taken as like comfortable.
Yeah, they didn't like play it off. They didn't play it off for like a joke. I don't think, which is
No,
cool.
I-
If they
I
played
didn't-
it
I
off
didn't
for a
really think so.
joke, I think that would have been in bad taste.
Yeah, I think so too. But I think they definitely showed that like Sayaka's not a good person necessarily. Like she does some good things, but she's not.
Yeah, because
like,
this was also in the middle of
inherently
the
good.
whole like, can we actually trust each other conversation?
Yes. Yep, that was in the middle of that. And then that was also when Shuichi and Chihiro went to go find Chihiro's wallet.
Yeah.
She had dropped it in the woods.
Yeah, and having your ID shown is like a really bad thing because it doxes the
Mhm.
monsters and then they'll get harassed by gamers with a capital G.
Yeah. And they will get called slurs.
We should not joke about that, I'm sorry.
Yeah, maybe not in this climate. Okay. That was like we do okay. Look, let's just skip over. Let's just continue.
Anyway, they go
Okay.
to find the initiation was Truth Girl Sayaka can put a collar on you that will kill you if you tell secrets about the party.
Yes. About the party to people that aren't in the party.
Yes.
Because if you're in the party, you can say whatever to anybody.
And that's like why they were super awkward when they were introducing themselves because they couldn't like afford to
Yep.
say anything.
They couldn't. I don't think they could say their name.
Which that
They
does
couldn't show
come
their
back
face.
later.
That's true. Yes, it does.
I mean, I think they were free to share information about themselves. That's why Yoda has his face,
They-
like his regular face.
they were free to share information about themselves because Chihiro is talking to Shuichi, who doesn't ever get the choker
No, he does.
on him. Oh, did he?
Yeah, he did off screen because remember when they removed the chokers later, it fell off of both of them.
Oh, that's right. That's right. But before he gets it, Chihiro tells him about herself.
And then
'cause
just
she
like
says,
it's like, hey, can
telling
I
you
pet
things about
you?
me isn't a secret. Yeah, that was kind of adorable.
Okay, yeah, it was
There we
with the
go.
freaking Speed Racer helmet too.
Oh man, I loved her helmet. Oh man, but like, yeah, that was an important thing. Like, you couldn't say things about other people, but anything about yourself is not a secret because you're free to share that information. You decide if it's a secret.
You
or
just
not.
probably
Because that was-
shouldn't.
Well, that was another aspect of the like clause with the choker is that like if you feel like you've betrayed the group, it'll kill you.
Yeah,
'Cause
which
what
I
the
actually
choker did
wondered
was
about
basically
that.
Just
Like, what if
Yeah.
someone just has like this weird guilt complex and feels like, oh, I didn't buy pizza for the group. I've betrayed them. Like, would it kill them? Like,
I think it might, and I think that was so. I think that might be part of the process of like choosing who comes in the group. Like with what Sayaka did, I don't think what she did. Okay, I'm trying to explain this, and I'm in like a half awakened state right now.
half awake, you're halfway to your true form.
Okay. So Sayaka, I think like the reason she takes them to a different room is to kind of like see if they feel guilty like a lot or whatever. Because Claire like never feels guilty and like she betrays anybody. She's like always true to herself kind of thing. Whereas like
well, I think there's also an objective aspect to it though, because like Ikeuchi,
yeah,
his choker kills him like the second he says something about cat girl Yoshioka.
Right. No, not Yoshioka. It was of the plant boy.
Right. He started talking about Plant Boy
because he said he grew the flowers. That's a little bit ahead, but yes, Ikeuchi does die, which I was kind of like, that kind of sucks. But like,
was he actually
that would die?
Was he actually trying to buy a distraction, or was he actually trying to bail on the group? I'm not entirely sure.
I think he was actually trying. So what he was trying to do was, because what he said is like, please like accept me and Yoshioka to your crew. I want to save her. Mm-hmm. Which I guess that means names themselves isn't a thing, because it was as soon as he said the other members.
Yeah, the second he mentioned Isao's quirk.
Yeah. That's when it started. That's when it choked him and like killed him.
Yeah, and Madoka is just kind of like, what?
Yeah, he's like, why did you do that? And then he was like, but then, yeah, Madoka was weird. Madoka was like the leader of the enemy group.
He had a cool design though. I liked his like spooky teeth.
His monster form?
No, his spooky teeth and the afro, like the way his jaw went like super far back, because he didn't have that in the flashbacks. Mm-hmm.
No, he didn't. I liked how that, like, one of the effects of his ability changed his, like, base...
Yeah.
I want to say base form. That's not, like, I don't think the technical
No, I think that's fair, though.
Okay. Yeah, because, like, everybody else's ability, like, it didn't affect their, like, main form.
But Madoka Magic
his did. Yes. His did, and that was cool. I did like that as well.
He also had, like, the most boring monster form, though, because he's just a gorilla.
Yeah.
But like,
he is just a gorilla.
I think
it was kind of like King Kong thing.
Yeah, I really liked this segment of the show though, because so Madoka's thing is that he has like this big group of people that are all outcast, misfit, whatever, and he's like, "You're all idiots. Come hang out with me."
Yeah, well, he was like, "You're all shitheads." I think
that's
what he calls
rude
them.
language. This is a family-friendly podcast.
Sorry, they're all poopy heads. Is that better for you?
My Christian ears.
Okay. Anyways, continue.
Where was I going with this? That's a really good question.
You were talking about his crew.
Yeah. And the reason it was cool. Let's see if I can remember the points as I make my way there. Oh, right, because it's at this point. This is like episode 6 through 8 sort of thing. 6 through 7.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, this was later. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Madoka was also later, because there's like this whole fight with Tiny Kid with Big Ogre in between with the Cat Girl fusion. We've already talked about this.
Yes.
He fights a Tiny Kid who has his parents tied together as a stand.
Yeah, basically a stand.
I'm sorry, I need to stop calling them stands.
Look, JoJo's your only point of reference here. So. Oh man, that was a joke.
Yeah,
but I mean, basically, what his is very, very close to a stand. So like that makes sense to call it that.
Yeah, but anyway, once we learn more about Madoka,
mm-hmm.
I feel like episode 8 and 9. Is it 9 or was it later? No, it was 8 through 11, kind of. The whole Madoka thing, as well as the immediate follow-up from Madoka. I feel like the line on whether Shuichi is still a protagonist or a villain starts to blur.
Ooh.
This is one thing I noted, specifically on episode 11, when after all the people have died on the mountain, then he tucks into Swordby. Okay, so I'm getting out of order. Let's talk about the mountain.
We've been out of order this entire time.
That's not a good excuse. Let's talk about the mountain, and then I'll get back to my point about Shuichi turning villainous.
Okay, all right.
So they're going through, they're trying to find the spaceship, and they go around a marker to mark someone's turf, but it turns out it's an ambush. The marker was there to guide them into an open area where they could be jumped by Madoka and his crew.
Yeah.
Which
happens.
3 fully drawn monsters and a whole bunch of shadow people. This is one of my few legitimate complaints.
I liked. I don't know.
I actually didn't like this. I thought it was frustrating that any monster that didn't have a speaking role was just shadows. I didn't like it.
Okay. See, I did kind of like it, but I think more so because it kind of, at least to me, it kind of called back to like old anime. Like, for instance, I'm watching Rose of Versailles in a group watch right now, and all of the background characters, like if they're not like in the foreground, they're just like a gray, and like they have a shape to them, which is essentially what this was. And I think that was kind of what it was. It was like a callback to classic anime. I don't think you've seen a lot of.
I think the oldest show I've watched to completion. No, I didn't even finish that one. I think the oldest show I watched is Death Note from like 2005.
Yeah, I know, and I hate that. Finish that show.
I will watch it eventually. I wrote a college essay about it, and I still haven't seen the ending.
I know. You haven't even seen the second half of it. Anybody who says the second half of Death Note is like garbage is a coward and is weak.
I don't know if the second half is garbage, but like the only reason I was interested in the show stopped existing, and I can't say any more without spoiling Death Note.
Who cares? Death Note has been out for so long.
We are not spoiling Death Note in a non-Death Note podcast.
Do you want me to say it? I'll say it. I'll do it right now.
Don't.
Okay. All right. I won't do it.
So they're on a mountain.
Mm-hmm. They're on a mountain.
And
they get ambushed.
They're trying to figure out a way out because Madoka says you can join our crew if you kill one of your own.
Yes. This is after they killed. So this is after they killed the Centipede
This is after they killed Zagara.
Because that's what he's kind of like. You can join our crew. You have to kill somebody, and we'll let the rest of you live. And that's to atone for our Centipede guy.
Yeah.
Which also the Centipede guy didn't die. They didn't kill him.
Well, I mean, he couldn't eat though because his jaw was completely demolished. But no, the Centipede guy, this freaking Zagara man, runs up to the crowd, grabs Truth Girl. Gets way too handsy.
Yes.
And then Punch Man kills him.
Well, he doesn't kill him though. That's the thing. He like the Centipede guy doesn't die ever because Madoka says no matter what, I will come back for you.
I don't think that means he survived. I don't think there was a way for Centipede Man to survive. That's why he called for a death.
But here's the thing, right? Like he gave him a tooth, and also, I mean, like he might have. Like, that might have been, like... I think that was, like, his thing was, like, you hurt one of ours, so you have to do something worse to your group. I think that was the thing.
I think he knew Zagara was going to die. What's the guy's name? Have either of us written down Centipede Man's name? Because I'm just going to keep calling him Zagara.
No, Zagara's fine. I have no idea what his name was. He wasn't that important.
Yeah, so like I think Madoka Magica knew he was gonna die, and that's why he pulled out the tooth. Is like to like here, this is proof I'm gonna avenge you.
Yeah. See, kind of what I thought about that too. I thought like the tooth had like healing powers, and like that was one of his abilities. Was like he was able to like help his crew.
I don't think
they never showed that. I don't think that was it either.
I think he's making the crew's dreams come true once he gets the hundo coins and can become, like, uber powerful.
A god.
Yeah.
Essentially a god. That's, like, what the power is, basically. Yeah. I agree with you. I think that the Centipede guy was basically dead. Like, there wasn't really much they could do to help him. But I think that he still wanted to, like, do something worse to the other people. Like, you hurt this guy, so you gotta one up it on yourself, kind of thing. I don't know if I'm explaining myself clearly, but that's kind of what I thought about it, especially because at the end Madoka like stays behind in the fire to like save all his crew, even though there's no way he's going to be able to save them.
Yeah, and that says something to Madoka's character. Yes, he's theoretically the antagonist of this arc, and yes, he's calling for someone to die, but he does show heroic characteristics in his actions towards his men, his devotion towards his crowd.
And we are back. Sorry about that. We had some technical difficulties with
I broke everything. I didn't mean to.
Yeah, see, look, we both promise this is going to be much better next time. We know what we're doing now.
This is our first episode. It's still a bit rough. We're figuring it out as we go, and we should have it mostly together for the next one.
Yes, and the next one will be better. I still think we've been having a lot of fun on this one, though. I think
this has been great, and I'm very glad we're doing it. Yeah. But anyway, we've been talking about Zagara, the Caterpillar Man.
Yes, not Caterpillar.
I have no clue what his actual name is.
Yeah, we don't know his name. We don't really care because who does care? Honestly.
StarCraft 2 fans who want me to stop calling him Zagara.
See, I didn't even know what the name was from. I'm not gonna lie. I don't play StarCraft. I don't play RTS games. I play single player RPGs, FPS. That's my thing. Visual novels.
If it's not in Japanese, you don't want to play it.
There we go.
So anyway, they're on a mountain.
They are on a mountain. They're on the Madoka's territory, and they get ambushed by Zagara, the centipede. And then they, what's his name? Yota breaks his jaw, rips his jaw off because of a punch. Madoka gives him a tooth, and he's like, "I won't leave you behind." Goes after them, says, "One of you has to die, and then the rest of you can join. And I'll let the rest of you live."
Okay.
And Claire gets like immunity for some reason.
Yeah, because Madoka says you're cute. Can I just take a moment and say I had a very strong grievance with the scene, and I noticed it happened other places, but it was most egregious during this scene.
Okay, what was it?
It wasn't over-the-shoulder dialogue. It was over-the-shoulder with Madoka, I'm pretty sure. But every single shot from Claire talking to Madoka, the camera was right behind her butt. Every one of them.
Okay. See, that's not something I noticed. I don't look for that. No, I'm kidding. I understand that being a bit
That's not how you frame an interview.
Okay, Mr. Film Man. Oh man. Oh
no, but like it wasn't your traditional over-the-shoulder shot. It was like from the hip, except just far back enough that half of the frame was Madoka's face, half the frame was Claire's butt, and I did not think that was cool.
That's totally fair. That's totally fair. I understand. I think it is a very sexual show in nature of the whole.
I mean, it has people climbing inside of people, so I'd say yeah.
Exactly. And every time Shuichi goes, "Oh, you've entered me."
Please never do that again.
Well, hopefully Gleipnir Season 2 doesn't come out. Because we'll be watching that.
We'll be obligated to.
We really will. Oh, man. Just so I can do that again. Anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. Okay, anyways. So, yeah, no, I mean, that's fair. That's fair. There's a lot of, like, uncomfortable stuff, I think, in this show. In terms of, like,
that was the one that felt, like, particularly gratuitous. I mean, a lot of it probably was, but, like, that one was, like, really really, dude.
It had, like, a use in the show rather than just like, because every time she got in him, she undressed because she didn't want to get her clothes dirty, which like at least has like
flimsy excuse, but yes,
it's flimsy, but like it is like a reason. Whereas like just like where the camera's placed is not.
But just setting the camera behind the booty, that's not really a good reason.
I can't remember what show it is, but there's another anime that like. Oh man, and I hate that I can't remember it, but like the camera like shows a shot just from between the legs of the girl. Like between the thighs, like that's the framing. So like it's not the only show that does it, but I definitely understand the having a grievance with it. I didn't know the
freaking bullet time from High School of the Dead. Which I have yet to actually watch. I will get there someday.
You need to watch that. I love that show so much. Oh man, the bullet time.
You
is
watch
so good.
DxD. I don't. You like bad shows.
DD is so good. It's my favorite, and I still haven't seen season 4. I need to watch it. 10 out of 10.
I think I watched 2 seasons.
Yeah, you need to finish it. I just didn't like the art style change, personally. I liked the original designs. Like, I liked the new designs, but I didn't like the fact that it was changing after the fact, if that makes sense. You know?
Okay.
Anyways,
back onto the show we're actually talking about.
Gleipnir.
Gleipnir.
Okay, so
they come up with a plan to get off the mountain. Claire goes up to Plant Boy and says, "Hey, grow flowers."
Yes, but this is after Ikeuchi says, Ikeuchi says what somebody should do it, like somebody should sacrifice themselves, and then she's like, "That's a good idea. Yeah, I actually agree with you this one time." And
except you're the only person who's agreed to it, and I'm immune. Therefore, it's you.
Yeah, and well, she's like, "I'm so like, what's the word? Like, it's not proud, but it's like."
She's like, "You're very brave. Good job,
you're
buddy.
You're very brave because that means that you're willing to get chosen out of everybody else, and that's such a selfless thing to do." Basically, is what she says, because she's like, "Because I have immunity, so that's very selfless of you to say outright." And then he gets really scared
because he basically just volunteered to either die or die.
Yeah, he's like, if we don't do this, then we're all dead. But if we do sacrifice somebody, I'm going to be the one sacrificed because I brought it up. And so I'm dead either way. Even though that wasn't going to happen. They were going to fight for him. But I think that
that wasn't the plan.
I don't know. I don't think that Sayaka would have sacrificed anybody.
Correct.
And so I think by doing that, Ikeuchi showed that he didn't trust the rest of the group.
Well, he was already a bit of an outsider. He was too busy, I don't know, freaking spying on Dog Girl.
I mean, like, his ability was weird. Because if that's your wish, and your wish, like, if your wish, like, becomes your power, right? And his power became that he could become a camera.
I mean, like, Yota already called him out on it. He called him a voyeur.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, because he went and followed him. And then he was like, "Yeah, but you didn't actually like go with them to make sure they were safe and everything." When Yoshioka and Shuichi like went to go find the wallet, and like Yoshioka went into Shuichi, he didn't follow him. He like left them there, and that's when Yoto was like, "Well, that's kind of a shitty thing to do." Sorry.
Props to the strands of. I don't know, Shuichi's innard goop that covered everything.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Conveniently.
Conveniently, the mucus or whatever. Oh, man, that stuff is so gross. Anyways, yeah, so, like, I mean, I think it just kind of reinforced that Ikeuchi didn't trust anybody. Like, he was an outsider, and he didn't trust the rest of the crew, which means that
Ikeuchi gave off such bad vibes.
He really did. I didn't like him from the beginning. And like, but even like when he died, I was like, "Oh, that really sucks." Not because he died though, but because Yoshioka seemed to kind of like him.
Ikeuchi died in a really dumb way. Like, he was I think he was legitimately just trying to buy time. I don't think he was actually trying to. I don't know. Maybe he was actually.
No, I think he was trying to join the group because he didn't want Yoshioka to die, right?
But like, then he got.
But because he was an idiot and said the other ability,
he died.
Them,
we saw that the chokers do work.
Yep. Which was a good way to show that her ability isn't, because
it is legit.
Yeah, it's legit because like she could have easily. I mean, like we knew that it was legit because the hair like went under the skin, so you couldn't see it. But like also like. That could have just been like a threat kind of thing and not actually done anything. And now that we see it work, we're like, "Oh, this is serious." And so then later on, when all the chokers fall off of all of them, it's like, "Oh, that's big." Because
they've been dropped from their geas, yeah.
They really have, like, they're not a group anymore. And that was like a big thing. I mean, like, I thought
they've disbanded. It was definitely big.
It was definitely like a visual, like, we're no longer a group, like disbanding, like you said, which I was a big fan of. Big fan of that visual metaphor, I guess.
The reason Ikeuchi tried to tell Madoka what was going on was because Claire had Isao, I was going to say Issei, that's from a different show.
Yeah.
Had Isao grow, I think it was Oleander.
Oh, okay. Is that what it was?
I think it was Oleander. That's what I have written down, at least,
Okay.
assuming I can read my own handwriting, which is not always a given. And they were like, this usually grows in parks, but it's also super poisonous, including the smoke. And so he grew like a full mountainside of oleander, and they set it on fire. And there was this like weird back and forth between Claire and Shuichi about who would actually light the fire because they'd be responsible for all the deaths.
And I think that was a pretty big moment for Shuichi because he was like, look, I'm not letting you do this alone anymore. I'm going to shoulder some of the weight as well. So
yeah.
I'm setting this on fire. And so
because like, you've killed enough people. Let me take some of the guilt.
Yeah, exactly. Which I really liked for Shuichi. It definitely showed some character growth there, to where he was no longer this like kind of like scared, like not child. I don't want to say child because that's not the right word, but like just kind of like this scared like boy who like he was at the beginning. He's like matured and like even if it's not for the better because he's now killing people, which he wouldn't have done before. It's you know, he is matured like in a way.
This also, though, I mentioned like 40 minutes ago about this like turn towards villainy that I felt like he go to, and this was definitely the first step in it.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Now that he's like willing to kill people, where before like even though like
he was super angry when they tried to kill the track girl.
Yeah. He was like, don't do that. Like, why did you kill her? And that's when she was like, the blood was on, it's not on your hands, on mine. He's like, no, you used me. And now he's become okay with killing, which I definitely
he said the same thing. He said the same thing to Yoshioka when she was like, hey, have you killed anybody? And he was like, yes, I have.
Yeah. Yeah. And he was like, yeah. And so I think, and then definitely he was, and by the end of the show, on episode 13, he was way more willing to use his gun as well.
Well, no, yes, but no. Like this was kind of the point I was getting to. It's like the next episode we were on, like after the Oleander, episode 11.
Yeah.
When he has that 1v1 with the Swordman, the only one who made it off the mountain.
Right, yeah.
And he's just like, I mean, he's still feeling guilt because he accidentally killed his friend. We should probably go over that.
That's true. Yeah, no, he's like still feeling guilty, but he's not like fully
because one of his high school friends was part of Madoka's crew, and he didn't know that at the time.
Yep. Yeah, like one of his best friends, too, I think.
Abikawa was part of Madoka's crowd. He was one of the people that he hung out with in the high school, and then after the event on the mountain, Abikawa went missing.
Yep. And then they found his body. Burned and floating in the river, I believe.
But then he gets cornered by Swordman in a junkyard. He leads him to the junkyard because he's like, hey, there's no one here, we can talk.
Yep.
They were in the junkyard and he cornered the Swordman. The Swordman was the only one to make it off of the mountain after the events from the ambush.
Yes. Yeah, and he was like kind of like he was one of Madoka's like pretty close friends, if I remember.
Yeah, he was acting kind of second in commandish.
Yes, yeah. And so he like kind of confronts Shuichi, or like Shuichi leads him to a place because he knows he's there because he can smell him. So Shuichi leads him to the junkyard, and they kind of talk it out. Well, talk with their swords or their fighting. Talk with their fists, if you will. And then after like Shuichi beats him pretty handedly, I would say.
Yeah, and questions him about Abikawa.
Yes. And then Shuichi shoots him in the back.
Yeah, Claire calls him. We find out later that Claire is at the cram school that Shuichi had gone to.
Mm-hmm.
It's where she finds the plushie of the mascot he's turned into, and she calls him. And he's kind of like, "Don't worry, Claire, it's over," and just straight shoots a man.
Yep.
And it was at this point that I felt it was difficult, given the current circumstances, to differentiate whether Shuichi was a protagonist or a villain at this point. Mm-hmm. Because you could see the good points in Madoka's claim, and you could see how willing to kill Shuichi had gotten.
Yeah. And I think it's interesting as well how I think it was at this point of the story where Shuichi was starting to say, like, his inner monologue that we were hearing. He was like, I'm not the protagonist of this story.
Yeah, and that comes again in the final episode when he starts talking about when things come together for the climax, we might be able to do something.
Yeah. And I think it's interesting too, like, so we show that, or like they show that Shuichi is willing to shoot a man in the back, which is a pretty big thing because it's shown as kind of a level of cowardice most of the time, like in westerns, at least when like somebody shoots somebody else in the back, it means like they're a coward. They're not willing to face them head on and fight them. And so I think
it's a huge contrast from the first episode where he's like incredibly uncomfortable with the thought of shooting the trap girl.
And I just realized this, but Claire shot her in the back. Claire shot that girl in the back. So it's a very similar parallel to where Claire isn't able to. So like in that scene, he's not able to control his body. Claire is controlling his body. And then in the scene with the swordman, Claire is not able to control the body. He's controlling the body.
Mm-hmm. Because it's just him.
Yeah, so I definitely think that's a huge character growth from him, but maybe not necessarily in the right way.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's an interesting thing. And I think as well in that final episode, so after all that happens, like all these images of, like it's the girl in white, like the ghost girl that like takes people away, you know. And
yeah.
Like, he's fighting her, and he's not afraid to shoot these basically or like these human figures. Like that's what they are. Like they're human figures. He's not like, he doesn't hesitate to shoot them and to destroy them, to kill them essentially. You know, like, and he doesn't even like think about it. And like maybe it's slightly different because she is like a because it is all the same image of the same person, but it is still a person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that is a pretty major thing with his character arc, at least throughout the show, because starting out not wanting to kill anybody, hating the fact that Claire used his body to kill somebody, and then getting to the point where he is killing people that can't defend themselves, like the swordman. As he's walking away defeated, he kills him, and then just massacring all those like physical manifestations.
Yeah.
So I think that is an interesting point.
Yeah, no, it's a huge change, and it's a massive deviation from the character we initially were introduced to, most definitely.
And I think Claire changes as well, because she doesn't like the fact that he's that she can tell, like when he kills the swordsman in the junkyard, she knows that something's up, especially when he says, "Don't worry, I've handled it," or whatever he says. She's like,
and when they're walking back home together after that, she makes a comment that we cannot become as one in your current state. She knows something's changed,
which I think is really interesting, as well. You know, that she's able to tell that he has become maybe more villainous. You know, as you said, and I really like that interpretation. I hadn't thought about it that way, but that definitely like adds a new like layer to the show almost. So yeah,
especially since like he ends up on the wrong side of the team he was already on in the final episode. So there's episode 12, which has the whole flashback that we talked about in the first 5 minutes for some reason.
It's the best episode of the
show. It was definitely different because it had one character from the current part of the show. Anyway, there's all of that, which gives a lot of the backstory that we needed, mainly the Hoshioka and I suppose the origin of the Ghost Girl. And then in the final episode, Truth Girl releases everyone from their bonds, and they all basically turn in their coins to Elena and give up the hunt. They're no longer gatherers.
Yep.
And through this whole time, Elena's been painted as a villain, but we're starting to see that may not so much be the case. I don't think Shuichi's the villain either. He's turning a lot more villain-ish, but he's definitely not the villain. I think the quote-unquote villain is either Kaito, because he's already collected the 100, or I think they might be hinting at it's indirectly the alien for starting this game.
I definitely think... So I think the alien is more of like a neutral party, you know? I don't think he's like neither good or bad. He's essentially just like, yeah, if that's what you want to do, then sure. Because he doesn't really care. He just wants, as long as he gets his people back, he doesn't care. Because Earth isn't...
He also doesn't seem too invested in getting his people, though, because like he doesn't want to go get them himself. He won't go look for them.
That's true. That's true. He seems really lazy. I also want to know why the other aliens that he's collected aren't able to like take physical forms like he was. Like, was he...
Yeah, why is he keeping them as coins? Why are they still coins?
Like, that's what I want to know. Like, how many of them are there, too? You know, like that's another thing. And how
many people could get the 100-coin superpower?
Yeah, exactly. Because I figured like, oh, if you collect 100 coins, like, so there can't be like too many over 100. But then clearly there is. There has to be, with as many people that have abilities that we've seen. Because like Madoka had so many people in his crew.
Madoka had a huge crowd, and that's at least one coin person.
At least, at minimum, because it only affects one person, because you have to drink the magical booze. And so I think I want to know more about this alien. I definitely think Kaito is like the major villain, because he's kind of given up his humanity in a sense, you know?
Well, because he's already lost a lot when he killed
Honoka.
No. Honoka?
Yep.
There we go. Totally the same person.
Because he thought Honoka killed Aiko, but Honoka was his girlfriend, right? I was pretty sure they were dating.
I don't know. I don't think that was taken care of, because I know that Aiko and Naoto were dating.
Yes. I know that was a thing, but I was pretty sure Kaito and Honoka were, but Honoka didn't really like love Kaito. She liked what's his name? Whoever was dating Aiko. Or like that's what Kaito said. Naoto. That's what Kaito said. And
I don't know if that's the case. Frankly, I'm going to be full disclosure here. I did get very lost during the flashback episode.
Well, that's why Kaito killed Honoka as Aiko, because he thought Honoka killed Aiko so that she could be with what's his name? Naoto.
Naoto. He thought that. No, I didn't see it that way. I saw it as he killed Hanako, thinking she killed Aiko to get the general position in life that Aiko had, because Honoka was practically being bullied out of the place she lived. She was like super disregarded because of her father.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was part of it, but I remember a something about Kaito saying that Honoka loved Naoto. I remember that being a thing.
Yeah, I think it was sort of a package deal. Like, he thought that Honoka wanted all of what Aiko had, and so he kills her, and then they find out that, no, Aiko left a will to Honoka.
And Aiko wanted Honoka to have her life, because they all knew about the alien at that point, right?
I think only Honoka knew.
Only Honoka knew? Okay.
I think. Yeah. I could be wrong. This is the other thing I got confused on, because I thought only Elena knew about it.
Yeah, that's kind of, yeah.
But then all of a sudden, they're all going and talking to him. I got very confused during this part. And I feel bad saying this on a review podcast. I don't like saying I lost the thread, but I definitely
I think that's just kind of comes with the show. Like, I mean, I lost the thread for sure. Like, especially that last episode. Like, so much happened, but I don't know what happened. You know? But, like, I know so much happened, but I think they were trying to put in so much to try to tie in so many loose ends that they didn't actually tie anything up. You know? And I think that's part of the issue with making anime original content without when you're basing it off of a manga or like anything else, because you're gonna lose, especially when you do it that late in the game. You know,
Yeah.
like if they would have like, I wish they would have like, I don't know, like set the scale a bit smaller or just like left it open for season 2. Because I definitely think that if this show had ended very strong, it definitely would have been a contender for like most talked about show, I think, or like a popular enough to get a second season.
Yeah, whereas I feel this one just kind of fell under the fold. Like, I heard nothing about this until we were looking for recommendations for this podcast episode, and someone said, hey, why don't you check out this one? Like, I legit thought it was an older anime, and then I looked into it earlier today, and it was like, oh, it just came out.
Literally just finished, like, last week, June 28th. Like...
Jeez, that's even sooner than I realized.
I mean, and the average score, at least on AniList, I mean, I know this isn't the best way to do it, but, like, the average score is 67, which is bad. Like, really bad. Like, because generally, I don't know, like, if you notice this, but, like, generally most people judge their anime on the scale of 5 to 10. So, like, if something's...
Oh, I'm absolutely guilty of that. I judge my shows very...
generously?
Yeah. Generously.
I used to do that.
You can tell that if you look at my mail.
But, I mean, I think that's... So, having a 67 is really bad, you know?
Yeah. I might be skipping ahead to, like, where we talk about our personal ratings of the show. But, like...
I think we're about there.
Even I did that. Again, I rate very generously, and I gave the show, like, a 6. It had good choreography. It had a handful of interesting characters, but I feel like it was overall not very engaging. I certainly was interested where it went as I was watching it. It was definitely one that I wanted to keep watching. But overall, it came out, in my opinion, just very okay.
Yeah, no, that's exactly the same thing I thought. So I also gave it a 6. So it's funny you say that. But I mean, I loved the
6 is one of the lowest ratings I've given, except for the single 2 that I've given out.
I know all about that one. We'll get to that in a later episode, I think.
Oh, I hope not.
So I think the thing, like, I really love the character designs and, like, the art. The animation is fantastic. I mean, I don't know Studio Pine Jam. Like, I looked them up, you know, afterwards, and, like, they haven't really done a lot. They did Gamers and Just Because, which I liked both of those shows, but, like,
I've not watched either of those. I've not heard of Studio
Pine Jam?
Pearl Jam.
Pine. Don't get us flagged.
Wait, would that get us flagged? No, I hope not.
But they're like a pretty new studio because they had two, like, it looked like, so they had two just basically
two
shorts.
Proper shows before
only
this.
Really two proper shows before this. They had a TV short, 2 TV shorts, like some OVAs, like ONAs, stuff like that. And so I was very impressed with the quality of the show, like, just visually. I think they did a fantastic job with that. I just think that the story got so convoluted. They tried to put so much into it that by the end of it, it, like, was just such a convoluted mess, and I wasn't invested in the story anymore. Like, I liked a lot of the characters. Like, I was interested in Shuichi and, you know, Claire, Elena, Yoshioka, like, basically every character.
I was definitely interested in the Hero Academia crew. They were all a really fun cast.
Yeah, I know. I loved them a lot, especially the plant guy. I don't remember his name. I'm terrible with names.
Not Issei. It's almost Issei. Isao.
Yeah, Isao. Like, yeah, he was great. Like, the fact that they had somebody who didn't fight on their crew, that was great. I loved that.
Even though he looked like this big beefy
exactly
dude.
Oh man, he
was great.
And, like, all the characters were, like, they were just fun. They, like, worked well off of each other, and that's what I really liked about the show. And then they just tried to put too much into it. I think that's what it boils down to, honestly. So, like, it sucks. I mean, it really sucks.
It got a bit hard to follow at the end, and I don't know if that's just me, but it sounds like it wasn't.
I mean, I definitely agree, and some of the other people I've talked to have also said, like, by the end it was just not as good. And yeah, I mean, like, that just kind of comes with adapting, I think, especially with 13 episodes and an ongoing story. I mean, I think it's a lot harder to adapt something that doesn't have an ending, you know? We've seen with shows like Soul Eater had its own original ending.
Full Metal.
Yeah, the original Full Metal Alchemist. Fruits Basket, the first adaptation of that, didn't have a proper ending either. So like, I mean, there's definitely like pros and cons to adapting something like this, and I mean, I think they did well from a production standpoint. I just don't think they were able to wrap it up well. I mean, the animation in the last episode was still like as good as it was throughout the entire thing. You know, like.
Mm-hmm. And all of the fights looked beautiful.
And like the choreography in the fights, I knew what was happening in the fight. Like that's something I want to stress. Like we might not have known why they were fighting, you know, but at least for me, like I knew where he was in relation to everybody else, like where people were. I could tell that based on the choreography, which is so hard to do, I think, for in animation, especially when you can just like, you know, add a fancy background to make it look like they're moving faster, and then all of a sudden they're like somewhere else, you know. So I was very impressed with that, and I think from a production standpoint, I keep repeating myself. From a production standpoint, they did really well. Just adapting is, you know, it's difficult. Like I don't want to like just, you know, hate on them for it, but like honestly, they just didn't.
By the sounds of it, I think that's our both of our final rating. Is it looked great, but it got difficult to follow, and I think overall fell a bit shy of being a properly good show, because it was definitely something interesting to watch, but overall not anything to write home about.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you want to see some good animation, watch this show. Oh, please. I'm sure...
If you want to see a dude walk around in a mascot fursuit, go for it.
I mean, I'm sure Sakuga nerds will be all over this show. Maybe not, because, I don't know. I haven't really seen much. I follow some on Twitter, but I haven't really seen much. But get on this show, guys. Come on. Let's go. It's got great animation.
But it's definitely not the next Attack on Titan, unfortunately.
No, or the next, like, My Hero or any of those. Like, and it sucks, because I think it could have been. I think it had like all the, you know, the workings for that. I'm definitely going to read the manga. I know you aren't, because you don't know how to read.
Of course I'm not.
So maybe I'll follow up in a later episode with what I think about the manga. See if
it ever gets to season 2, we will be honor bound to speak about it.
We will. I mean, you know, cross my heart, hope to fly, all that good fun stuff. So I think we're starting to sober up here. So I think it's a good enough time.
We definitely reached a good conclusion on that.
So I think it's a good enough time to end it. So I guess we'll just plug our stuff now.
I don't personally have many accounts yet. Check out you can follow me at TheEpicWob on Twitter. I guess I'm going to be trying to use that more often.
Yep. You follow me Seaweed AMB on Twitter, and check out my YouTube channel, The Seaweed Ambassador. Got some bangers going up there. Gonna have a new video there shortly. Go check that out. All the links be in the description. Subscribe to this channel, or wherever you're listening to this podcast. We might try to put it on other platforms as well. Because we'll be back.
And we'll be back at a week from whenever this is uploaded. I don't think
we haven't established a date yet, but
we will be back 1 week from the upload date of this. Would you like to say what show it is, because I do not remember the title?
One of my personal favorites, Binan Koko Chiku Boibu Love, Cute High Earth Defense Club Love. Just season 1. We're not going to talk about the whole show, but I think it'll be a good time. I love me some magical boys, and Wob has never seen it.
It's definitely going to be a lot lighter a show than this one, so I'm excited to
very
go for
much
it.
So. There's not a lot of dark themes in this show, and I can't wait to rewatch this show. It's been a while, so I guess that's pretty much it for it.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see y'all next week.
Next week. Have a good week, and we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Peace.